There we go. Got it. All right. Welcome to the stream. So, last time we got to work on combos, and we actually got that to work, which was really cool. I am probably going to show you that real quick. I want to set up my camera and make sure it's not going in and out of focus randomly. Okay, so I've been kind of busy doing some other things, and right now we have the enemy, like, they take knockback when you attack them, and then I've added a little bit of code for variation with the combos. So the combos will sometimes, it will deal different damage based on which stage of the combo that you're currently in. Okay, so that's cool. And then I came up with some other things that I want to work on. So I probably won't do that yet, but I was thinking about having the enemies actually attack the player, and basically what I've kind of laid out here is a structure for the enemies to, let me pull it up real quick, for the enemies to actually like go toward the player, pause, attack, do their animation, and then restart, and all of like the different logic that goes into an enemy attacking the player. And so I've written that down. That's probably what I'm gonna look at specifically today, and we'll just focus in on that because alone with what we have right now, it's starting to feel like a game. It's starting to get somewhere, and I think if the next logical thing would be adding enemies that are actually real enemies to the game. Okay, so for instance, let's check out what some of these combos and stuff look like. So I've been messing around with how the knockback should work, and it's, you know, it's all right. It's not like amazing, but there's a little bit of that. And then you see I'm doing these triple combos, and then I added this thing so that when you do a 3-step combo, there is a pause afterwards, so you won't be able to just spam click all of your combos and then just combo. Also, I did make it so that if you click too early, you cancel your combo. And so you do have to time everything perfectly, otherwise it won't combo. And then when you do, on the third combo, all of your damage, your knockback is heightened dramatically. And I don't know if that's completely clear from here, but anyway, okay, so I've done a little bit of that so far. We have, of course, the classic animations and all that. But yeah, this has been pretty fun. And honestly, it's just feeling good to play with, and it's really cool. And so I can tell from here already adding animations to this is going to be just incredible. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, and he died. But anyway, so that actually feels fun to play. Like, we're getting somewhere with it, and we're just hitting. We're not even hitting. We just have a weird flash, and then there's triangles on screen. So the fact that that's fun is a good sign, which means if we add on top of it, it's just going to be better. So that's kind of the focus of a prototype. You want the prototype to feel fun, even when there's nothing to play. Because that's at the core, like, what a game is. Sorry, I'm having nasal issues still from my cold, but at the core, that's what a game is mechanics. And if your mechanics aren't fun, your game will never be fun. No matter how nice it looks, no matter how pretty it is, no matter how AAA graphic quality, it will never be fun unless the core game is fun. And hopefully, that's what we're doing right now. Hopefully. Feels like it. I mean, let's try out some of the other weapons, for instance. I haven't done anything with the pipe, but Let's like check out the dagger, for instance. So it has a completely different set of attacks and therefore combos, and they're a little bit faster and less knockback. And so it's just a lot of like, you know, it'll be attacks like that where it's just a lot of swipes and things like that, which is cool. In fact, it looks like almost no knockback is happening, which isn't totally what's supposed to be happening. Let me just double check if, oh, that's because I haven't set the knockback. So if we hop over to the axe, yeah, this had a knockback of 1, and that was, it's like the smallest attack with the axe has a knockback of 1. Why is it all highlighted? That's weird. Does it normally do that? I feel like it doesn't normally do that, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's something weird going on. What in the world? What's happening? Okay, there we go. Weird. So while knockback... Oh, wait. Weird, and it looks like my... what in the world? Looks like a whole bunch of my stuff has changed. That's not right. Okay, those are still there. Heavy. Okay, interesting. Well, anyway, on this attack, of course, we do want some knockback. I'm gonna try 0.5, and then this is also the other fun part of like actually making a like a programmable weapon system, is I can edit everything now, and it's just sitting right here, and I can just, you know, fiddle with the numbers until it feels right. And then after this, once we really cement down how we want everything to feel, then we can start doing our animations. And, you know, this is cool, the fact that we can kind of refine everything prior to like full committing to it. Okay, so pummel is definitely this sort of like melee attack. And so I do want it to have like a heavy amount of knockback. And so there are some of these, for instance, like, okay, this one, AoE, honestly should have like a really significant knockback, I feel like. If I hopped over to like the hilt crash, yeah, it has a knockback of 3 even, which is pretty insane. But let's try this out with the dagger, just because the timing on the dagger is slightly faster than a lot of the other stuff. Okay, interesting. Okay, that might be too much. Yeah, I think that might need to be less. And there's something going on with the timing as well for it, which I don't know. Do I have it linked to this? Yeah, okay, so this takes in the timing. So this is cool. This is where I've, whenever I program my video games, I use a lot of math calculations to try and, you probably won't be able to see this very much, but anyway, I don't know, does this work? That's fine. So I use a lot of math in my games, and right now what I'm doing is I'm doing 1.1 basically to the x power, and the reason I'm doing this is because based on your knockback, I do want it to scale up how much time the enemy is knocked back for. And so if, like that hilt crash, it's going like at a knockback of 3, I'm going to want this to be higher, like a longer time than a knockback of 1, for instance. Although it looks like this function might not do exactly what I want it to. So I think what I will end up looking at is maybe I can create like a table of like knockback times that I want to see. So for instance, at 3, I would say like a good, like it gets hit, like probably like 1.5 seconds. Then for the dagger, for instance, it is a knockback of, I did 0.5, I think. Is that correct? 0.5. I might even do less than that on this because I think it was feeling even too far back, I think. So I'll do like 0.25. I still think it should give a good like second or two. Like how long would that be? Like a half a second or something? So if we do 0.25, or you know what, maybe I'm already kind of seeing something I like here. What if we do y equals 1/2 x? We just do that. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's try that, see how that feels. Okay, so here we are. Instead of this, let's just go knockback divided by 2. And then that's just how long it'll be stunned for, basically. So the enemy has like it'll have real stun, because some of these attacks later on are actually gonna stun. Well, anyway, like on the axe, for instance. But there's still some sort of like stun that happens when they get knocked back. Knocked back. How does that work? I don't know. Knocked back. There we go. And so I do want to make sure that that's working correctly. Yeah, so slash. Yeah, that makes sense. So something like that, nothing too crazy. And then also what we can do, which is cool, is hop into here, pull out my hilt crash, and then that does this, which is gnarly. Yeah, it looks like 3 might be way too much. Although it is pretty nice. It is pretty nice, but... and I remember saying that I wanted my attacks to be good. Not that good, though. That's kind of nuts. This feels more appropriate, like, boom, you know. It's definitely a crowd control AoE, you know. And then if you time it right, then it does like this crazy knockback, which is cool. And then there's like other combos like medium, heavy. Anyway, so that's all feeling pretty good. We could probably reduce this to like a 0.75. So let's hop into here. 0.75, splitting blow, could probably do 0.4. Now push drive is actually really important because its main purpose is a knockback, and so it will have a high level for that. It just will also accrue a stun feature on it. Okay, and then some of these, yeah, we just do this. Okay, and then for the dagger, let's just kind of make sure everything is feeling appropriate here, because we have 0.25. Okay, this one's definitely got to be like 0.5. Yeah, okay, that feels fine. So working with the enemy knockback, that's cool. And then okay, so let's pull up the other things that we wanted to do with our Trello board. So enemies should stop instead of just ganging up on the player. When it gets to a certain range, it's like, okay, I'm close enough to attack. So we just have to start coding in a lot of these things. So gets close enough to player, and then enemy attack player. probably do it in this order. Okay, so enemy stops near player. Let's pick up on that one. Here we go. I can also get rid of this here, since I know that all of this is working now. So, in our enemy script, we have basically it will constantly go toward the player. And I think what we should do here is just check if how far it is from the player is less than like 1. And I could parameterize this, so we could go like public float range, because there might be enemies that have like a further range on it, and maybe they're bigger, so they need to stop further away. So that makes sense. But we will initialize it as 1. Okay, so if it does this, boom, else print, well, we don't need to print, we'll just go attack. So I think we'll go IE numerator attack, and then we'll create this private variable for attacking, and in here we will go if not currently attacking, otherwise in here it's attacking. I think that, and I'm not sure if there's going to be anything in that chunk of code there, so technically, you know. Also in here we're going to have like particles, spawn dead body, you know, all the fun stuff when health is less than 0. Okay, so take damage, affects knockback. It should also stop, I mean, we might as well just do stop all coroutines, but we want it to stop. Ooh, that's actually a good point, because if he gets knocked back, why do I keep saying that? If he gets knocked back while he is still waiting for this period of time, this will actually invalidate, like it cancels the current knock. Anyway, so knockbacks in the past cancel future ones. So this will fix a bug in the code, which is good. Okay, so for attack, how it should work, obviously, we'll go attacking equals true, start coroutine attack, and then this one, I mean, effectively it will wait for some period of time. I don't know, we're probably only gonna have like one basic attack for most enemies, so I'm probably not gonna make that like too complicated, and then we'll just go attacking equals false. For now, let's just run with this. Like, there's not a whole lot that we need to do, or that I even want to do. And you know what I might do here? I might go range times equals random dot. How do you do that? Where is random? Ah. Random. System.random. Okay. Using system.random. It's not a namespace? What in the world? Okay. Range? Random range? Like, what? Am I completely mistaken on how this function works? Yeah, it should just be random.range, right? Ooh. Interesting. Is there a difference? Well, let's just go Unity engine.random.range. Okay, weird. Hey, what's up? Yeah, it's going good. We are working on getting enemies to attack right now. And then I've added some knockback when the player attacks enemies, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to add a little bit of variation, though, to the enemy, like, wait time. Or no, this is the distance that it stops at. So right now, what this code does is the enemy approaches the player, and then hopefully, if it gets into a range, it'll stop. It will... Uh-oh. Now they all stop. Okay, so I've not done it correctly. Well, okay, this is still cool, though. So I have added knockback onto things, which is cool. I have messed this up, though, now, which is really hilarious. If it's less than the range, that should have worked. Shoot. Okay, let's try this. Let's just see if this works. And then I'm gonna mess with the range thing here. Okay. Oh no, you're right. Greater than range. Has to be greater than the range. Okay, so if it's outside the range, they'll drift inward. They get close enough, they'll stop, attack the player, and then... Yeah, okay, so then we also have to make it so that when they attack, velocity gets set to 0. Okay, hopefully that is reasonable. I might make that a little bit more varied as well. Okay. So let's see how this works. And then recently I've been working on combos. Okay, yeah, so they stop, attack. Okay, and obviously they don't do anything. They don't have any attacking code. But this is just the base game for now. Okay, so the combos are working great. It's a little bit easier to see what's going on just because the enemies aren't like constantly crowding up on me, although they still kind of are. Okay, so let me also check, like, why are these guys running off in just some random direction? Did they get knocked back and they're just continuing? That is an issue. Who is that guy? Who's that guy out there? Interesting. And what is going on with him? His velocity is just way out there. Okay. So this is where... Well, okay, so technically if they're knocked back, they should be slowing down. Okay, so let me make a couple of these public so I can see what's going on here. I don't need this to be public. Honestly, I don't need the range to be public for now. We'll deal with that later. But I just want to focus on knockback and attacking because there might be some weird code going on. So for this, you start coroutine attack. If ooh, okay, that's what's going on. we need to make sure that in here we set attacking to false. Okay, so if they take damage while they're attacking, this interrupts their attack. So that's kind of cool. So that's an interrupt right there. And we just have to make sure that they reset after that to being normal and running around. Okay, so let's try the dagger, just because that'll be kind of quicker. Okay, yeah, so that guy, for instance, you can see that when I do the medium attack, they throw back a little bit further. Let's get this guy. Boom. Okay, and seems like they're all still working fine. Okay, and then let's try adding on our big attack. Cool. So if I hit them while they're doing that, boom, 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 they all reset very well, so that's cool. Boom, boom. Honestly, the combos are like, they take skill, which is cool. That's how I want it to be. I keep canceling them. Okay, that's awesome. And then we'll clean them up with this. What else do I have? I forget what these are. That also would probably be useful to do at some point, is start labeling all of this, but I forget what the heck that one is. Flurry. Is that one I feel like that one's supposed to be an AoE. It is. Why isn't it doing anything? That technically should, like... does a little bit, but... That's weird. So sometimes they don't knock back. Was it this one? Oh no, they do. Okay. So it was just weird guys at the end that were not behaving properly. Interesting. That's good though. So technically I've been working on this particular version of the game for about 2 months. Since like January. The game as a whole, like the idea for it, it's been years. I have so much work, like paper and story ideas. It's been a long time, but this game has gone through a couple different iterations. I've tried to start working on it in the past many times, and I just never got very far. This is the furthest I've actually made on it, which is cool. So this time I'm full committing to finishing this. So we're gonna get through it. We're gonna make it, and yeah, hopefully it'll be a cool game. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of work though, but it's definitely cool. Yeah. We have another owl in the chat. I see. Yeah, that's cool. So we got enemy stops near the player, attacks. I actually kind of don't really feel like we need to add the navigation elements right now. There was like a little bit of that. Honestly, now that we've had so much of the combat working, I'm actually feeling like this is good enough. This is good for right now. Let's okay. I should think about this a little bit more. It actually would be interesting to start piecing together some of the levels now, since we have combat and all of that. I would like to kind of dance between doing combat and then working on the narrative elements of the game. I can probably get rid of all of this stuff. There's so much. Yeah, so maybe we can start thinking about that. In here, yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit more. I might have to sit down at some point and just kind of brainstorm some ideas. We could go ahead and start drawing a little bit for this level, since we've done quite a bit so far. Because we've been working on combat for like 2 weeks now straight. So I think we could bear to spend some time doing some other stuff. So let's check out what we can work on with the narrative elements. There we go. Cool. So far, if we go maximized, here's what we have. Oh, hang on. You know what? That's a good point. Since I've edited so much of Keegan, I need to make sure that we apply all of these overrides. And then if we hop back here, it should work just fine. Yeah, okay, cool. And then I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, so we got a lot of this going on. I would like to think about getting a lot of the animations working, because we have the forward animation. Technically there's something for the strafing, but I would like something right in between here that looks a little bit more like he's walking crooked. So that's good. In here, we could probably redraw this dialogue box. It was just like a little placeholder thing. So maybe I'll do that. And we'll just start picking little pieces and kind of working on them one at a time. Okay. So let's grab, I'm gonna put this over here. And then we can look at it like this. Okay. And then let me pull up that dialogue box. Should be, where is it? Here it is. Okay, so we got the basic dialogue box, which, let me put a black background on it just so we see what's going on here. And then there's another one that has a slot for a name tag. Okay, so if we work on this one, I think the best way of doing this is we kind of drop this opacity down, and then we just draw over it with a white marker. And if we got it all set up, should be able to do that. Perfect. Okay. Yes, awesome. So, and then I can probably move my camera over so you can see a little bit more. Perfect. Yeah, so the inspiration for all of this, I guess, style, it would be like one of like, it'd be like a combination of like 3 different games. It's going to be Don't Starve, for sure. Just their total like hand-drawn aesthetic is huge inspiration for how this game should look. Hollow Knight. For more of like the kind of, what would you call that? The decorative elements. And then I think, does Bastion have an interesting kind of aesthetic? What does it have for dialogue? I did not spell that word correctly, but yeah, maybe it wasn't as interesting as I thought. But anyway, so those 3 games though, they have interesting vibes to them, and I kind of want to imitate them as best I can with this. So I might pull that up over on this screen. You guys won't see it, but I'll be kind of looking at it. Yeah, and then we're just trying to kind of recreate something sort of like that with this dialogue box here. Oh, and I guess Persona as well, if anyone's played that. French. Man, I don't know. Dialogue. Yeah, there's a lot of weird words out there, honestly. Like, who came up with dialogue? And they're like, we're gonna say it like that, but spell it like this. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so, the other thing too is, if I just draw half of this too, I'm just gonna copy it over, whoops, and flip it to this side, so we don't have to draw the whole thing, just kind of bits and pieces of it. And then also here, like, I'm not gonna perfectly fill in everything, because having that kind of hand-drawn aesthetic is what I'm shooting for here, so. Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah, stay safe, man. Words are crazy. Or it's like that thing where you say a word over and over again, and then like it just doesn't sound like it means anything. Like police, 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 police. And then like try and spell it after that, and like just look at it, and it's like, what does the word even mean? Police, police. Lettuce. Yeah. Yeah, and the funny thing about the police sentence is, like, apparently it's like grammatically correct if you just say police 13 times in a row, because it means different things. Because like police can be the police, the cops, but it can also be like you police people, and so the police. But then there's like police of the police, and so there's like cops who are cops for cops, and so there's police. Well, the police. But then there's like police over the police. So then that's like 3 layers. So then they police the other police who police the police. And it just keeps going. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know who invented English, but they're crazy. Okay. Oh, I might actually did Oh yeah. Oh, it was the French. Yeah, probably was. They would. They'd come up with something like that. Just to prank everyone. Gonna invent this crazy language and no one will speak it, and now like the whole world speaks it. Okay, let's add some extra kind of just spice on the ends here, like that. And then I'm actually gonna go through underneath this with like a darker layer. And okay, let me duplicate this real quick. So we duplicate this, flip it, and then we'll kind of merge everything together here. So right here we can add a bit more of this. Okay. Do I want to put that in? Yeah, it looks kind of cool. Okay. So then what we'll do is, yeah, I'm going to add another layer underneath. And this one is going to be slightly less opaque. And we're just going to kind of add some, like, decorative coloration to everything. And probably like down here as well, I think would be a good area to look at. Okay, cool. And then I'm seeing some sort of like a gem type of shape in here. I don't really know how to draw it though. Like, how is that gonna look? I feel like it should be some shape like that, and then this. It's gotta have something that kind of comes in the middle though. Yeah, maybe something like that. Okay. So that's good. And then we'll just keep filling a lot of this in here. Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. Oh no, that's correct. And then we want to drop this to 145. Okay. Yes. All right. And that's what's underneath. Get rid of that there. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. The other big thing, the reason I'm recreating this is because I want to get the background. So this like interior part I want to be filled in. So let's see if I can like grab a lot of this. And then I'm gonna fill it in with just like a black color. And then we're gonna drop this way down to like here. Oh, although what I should do actually is put this on a different layer. Then I can delete this one. And then we just have the black layer here, and then we drop this down. So something like that, and then the text will be on top of this. Just like that. Okay. And then inside of here, I also want to make this. Oh, I'm gonna have to figure out how to edit this. Let me think about this. So I could copy this, put that there, and then we just like fill it in. Then we go here and paint that black. Okay. Cool. So something like that. That's cool. Kind of this like black gemstone inside of here. Okay, and it still has that like super hand-drawn aesthetic. So the other thing that we want to do now is we're going to make a copy of this, and we're going to redraw the whole thing, so that way we can animate between these two drawings, and we get that kind of shaky stop motion aesthetic. So the way to do that is basically, it's probably just this outer layer that we need to duplicate. Yeah, if I duplicate this, and effectively I redraw this layer here, almost identically, we probably won't have to edit much else. So let's just do that real quick, and then we'll be able to see how this looks as an animation, which is cool. Okay. Yeah, this is good. Okay. And I'm basically redrawing the entire thing, but all of just the slight imperfections in the way that I draw it a second time are going to be really pronounced when we hold them up side by side, and it'll make it look like it's animated, which is cool. Yeah, and then one of the other big things that I've been doing is I started working on Twine, which is like a storyboard software, and it lets you draw out like choice-based stories. And since this game has so many different choices in it, it's really hard to keep track of like where everything is going. And this software just helps me like visualize it all and organize it. And so once I start doing that, I can start actually creating like meaningful dialogue, and then I'll be able to start creating each level and figuring out like who will be in what level, what will they talk about, what can you do, so that'll be cool. And of course, like, although a lot of this is subject to change, it does feel nice to get some of this like finalized, because at least in some form, the game will have this particular dialogue box. So this isn't really time like wasted doing this right now. Okay, and then kind of just want to soften up all the edges on it a little bit. Do some of this stuff here. Okay, pretty good. And then up here is what matters next. Okay, and then we're almost done. Look at that, painless. Whoops. Painless. Yeah. And we just duplicate this, flip it over, and yeah, that's basically it, right? Yeah, and then I'll merge that down. Okay. So what it will look like is kind of like this, and it'll flicker. Oh, I guess this one's a lot thicker. I might have to kind of fill this out a little bit more. Although, like, you know, the variations are what make it look good. So without further ado, I should probably just see how this looks in my animation. Okay. So let's save, hop over to this one? Yeah, okay, perfect. So let's save this real quick. Call this basic dialogue 1. Oh, and that, wait, that's not correct. Where is this in the game anyway? It's under dialogue here. Okay, and then this is the box. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the combo box, which, where is that? Is it here? Yeah, because that just keeps track of like if we're in an attack combo at the moment. Okay, so then we have this dialog box sitting here. And then I need to fill out the rest of this. Okay, so we got this one, and then that one. So this will be dialogue 1. This will be dialogue 2. Okay. Ooh, okay, actually, that desktop picture it's not one of my own. It's some artist that I found like a long time ago. I didn't draw that one though. I do draw, but not that one. It is cool though. What am I grabbing here? I think in order to do this, do I have it grab the dialogue sprites? It does. Yeah, no thanks. I think it does too. Yeah. Yeah, I could show you some of the other stuff that I've drawn actually as well, because it is that kind of same aesthetic. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. What's the theme of the game? It's kind of hard to put in like a single sentence. I mean, like this is the aesthetic of the game. It is about a character in a world that's like a little post-apocalyptic, breaking down, and very like ruined, and there's a lot of people in it that he talks to that are I guess very, very like depressed and anxious, and there's like monsters and fog monsters that you end up fighting, and you spend most of the game trying to like recruit people to help you fight off all the fog, and that's pretty much the gist of the game. So here is what I'm gonna try. I am going to put this in here. And I think we're just gonna roll with this. I think this should work, if I'm not mistaken. Well, you know what? It should just appear anyway. So let's see how this looks. So if we zoom in, I think can we pan down? No. Okay. Yeah, honestly, so that's it. That's about it. This is what the dialog box will look like. Honestly, it's quite subtle, and it makes me wonder: did I actually change the picture? Yeah, the transparency is really nice on it. I thought that was a pretty decent idea. Because it still incorporates like the black color without like totally making everything underneath it like invisible. Okay, did I do this correctly? Because if I go to this one. Okay, it's this one here. They look awfully identical. I'm super confused right now. Let me try this again. Okay, so I pull in dialogue 1, dialogue 2. They are different, right? And you know what? I also like closed out the sprite, so it did not. I didn't save it as its own file. I don't know if you can see it here on stream. There's like a slight difference between the pictures, which is fine. It looks good. So the point is, that's what it's gonna be. I like it. It's fine. And then the other one that we need to add is a little rectangle here, but we'll get to that later. So for now, this means that we have to edit how we do our dialogue, because instead of doing a single picture, which, where do we store that? Dialogue sprites. Where is that? Is it in here? Okay. So for dialogue sprites, it grabs, okay, so it grabs this, and it just sets the sprite to that. I feel like what we should do instead for this is, I set up an element on here, which is nuts, which is for a secondary sprite animation inside of the animation controller. And if I've done this correctly, I believe that it will just grab, yeah, the current animation. So all that we have to do is set current animation to either 0 or 1. That will pull out this sprite sheet or this sprite sheet. This one's for basic dialogue. This one is for character name dialogue. Or I guess probably shouldn't call it dialogue. It's narration. And then the other one's for dialogue. And that should honestly work. All that we have to do is change this variable between either 1 for this or 0 for this one. That's all that we have to do. So that means that we can go to our dialogue manager and we actually get rid of dialogue sprites. And instead of setting this one to a sprite, we are going to set, probably have to grab the sprite animation controller script. So let's create that real quick. Sprite animation controller, anim controller. I don't know. And then we're gonna go anim controller dot current animation equals 0 or 1, and that should work. All that we have to do here then is set that variable to this particular script, and it should work right off the bat. So yeah. In fact, to test this, just to like really make sure it's working correctly, I'm gonna set this to 1, just because it should stay as this. And then if I click over here, well, I'll do it over here so that you can see what's going on. If I click on this, it should change to the other one. Okay, and it does. Perfect. That's awesome. So then, yeah, this is the new dialog box. This is where it pops up, and then it should fade away. Perfect. The other thing that I really wanted to do at some point, and I guess I might work on it, not right now, but when you click on these, that paper sound pops up, which is cool. I want it to be this like animation of a unfolding paper, this like crumpled up paper that then like unfurls and then it crumples back up. I don't know how to draw that, and so I might have to look for a animation real quick and see if I can copy something. But I could do that right now. So let's pop over here and let's go like crumple paper animation. Yeah, okay, that's nice. That's perfect. And then it would just go from this sprite here into the final sprite. Okay, that's cool. That's only like, what, like one, probably don't even need that. I could start like here. So let's copy this real quick. I'm gonna throw it into this real quick. That's what I'm doing. So we'll do that, and then we want to grab, probably don't need that much, do we? I mean, we can make it look nice. There's no reason not to. Probably don't need that sprite. Want to do that sprite. And then we'll grab like that guy. Probably gonna have to make the size of these, some of these smaller. Okay, and then this one here. All right, so from here, and then this is all in the same aspect ratio as the actual dialog box, which I should grab real quick just to double check. But if I pop that into here, yeah. This is what the final image is that we're shooting for. So we have to go from here down into all of these like sub layers. So for this one, should probably scale this so it's something a little bit more like that. Then for this one, probably scale that down a little bit as well. Do something like that. This one, you know, could go a little bit more. And then finally this one here. Okay, cool. So, we have to draw 4 pictures. Easy. So what we're gonna do is probably create like a black background for this, and then yeah, we just draw over it. So I have to use this screen though. Yeah, okay, so this image, can I do this? Yeah. I forget the name of the artist. He has some interesting art like this though. I love the line work on it though. That's what's so cool about it. So anyway, so we're gonna draw over the top of this here. Yeah, and then we're just gonna do it in our style, which is that kind of choppy, hand-drawn animation style, which is cool. So I think for the edges and stuff, I probably will use some shading. I've done animations in the past where I kind of like, what am I trying to say? I tried to stay away from shading, and so I just did black and white. But for this game, I need to do more shading. Like a woodblock print, yeah, interesting. And also I did a lot of research and studying into like prints and printmaking for a while in like college, which is kind of cool. So I started making games in when I was in middle school, and that was about a little over 10 years ago, so long time ago. And I started with a program, a little known program called Game Maker. Nowadays a lot of people use Scratch, and that's like the common one. Game Maker was super common back then though. Yeah, and then the rest is history. I just started making games. It's not always been like the easiest thing to do, but I've always enjoyed it. And I have a lot of games. I actually would love to like play through a bunch of them sometime on stream, because I have so many games from like way back in like 2015 that I made that are just like they're terrible, but they're fun. Oh no, that didn't work. There we go. So I just want to fill this in so that I can kind of go over it with shading. Something sort of like, or you know what, I should put this on a different layer, and then we'll reduce that. Okay. And we'll kind of do something like this for everything. And then music as well. I've been working on music for a long time too. So all the music that I play on stream is music that I've made, just because obviously don't want to get copyrighted on anything. And then it's just kind of fun. So, because I have so much music. Okay, so I probably don't want to go overboard here with like too much detail, but enough to make it clear that this is like a crumpled piece of paper. And then honestly, what I could end up doing too is I actually use this paper and we just like dither dither. Effects. Where is it? Quantize? Yeah, that's what we want. And then what we do is, we reduce the colors that are available, and then we just increase the dithering. So if we do like, okay, for instance, 3 colors, it looks like this, which is super interesting. I'm going to pop up this to like, this seems like a good level for it. Yeah, and then what is this? Pixels with an alpha less than this will be fully transparent. Pixels with an alpha less than this threshold. Is that what I want? Like, does that do anything? I felt like that didn't really do anything. Okay, cool. So effectively what we've done is added these kind of shapings and lines on it, and then we'll just do that for the other ones. So we hop up over to here, reduce this a little bit so that we see what we're working on, and then just kind of do the same thing. Yeah. Okay. Pretty darn close on everything. So yeah, we could just do that, and then like fill this in. Okay, and then same thing. Drop this down, and then we'll add in a bit of our shading and stuff to it. I think it looks best down at like this level here. Yeah, so the goal with this is I will animate this sprite when you open up dialogue, and then it'll do the inverse when you close dialogue. And that's going to change a little bit of our code to make it a little bit more complicated, but nothing we can't solve. Okay, yeah, I kind of don't want to spend too much time doing like every little crevice on this picture, but here I am, drawing everything. Okay. Alright, I gotta stop. Just gotta do that part right there. Okay, now we're done. Quantize that one. Just do it. Well, actually, I want to do it at a different level. So we gotta go through. Yeah, for some reason, there must be more colors on this one. That feels the most appropriate. So let me pop that up right there. And that's what we're adding. Happy with that. cool. And then let's just see in comparison to this one. Is that what we want? That's pretty good. Let's go like that, and then that right there. Perfect. Okay. Then lastly, we do this one, and then just one more. So actually, I might hold off on this one because I want this sprite to be very like reminiscent of this one. So it needs to be awfully similar to it. So it's got to have some of the same aspects and like pictures and stuff. So for instance, like this part should be kind of like here, you know, maybe it's a little crumpled. This part should be over here. This part obviously is along the top, and then we just kind of do that. Okay. So I'm doing this so that I can kind of fade it out, and then on here I'll also fade this one out, and then we'll just kind of draw in between them. So I need that one there, and then kind of draw the gem right here hanging out. Yeah, this is cool. If I start cutting this corner here, bringing this up a little bit, seems we have a little crinkle right there. Yeah, and then this side, this will be an awfully unique picture, that's for sure. Which is fine with the animations because we don't have to draw these twice. I'm only drawing each frame the one time, so we don't have to like try and replicate this over and over. Okay, so I'm gonna cut that corner as well. And I'm just gonna trace the outside of it real quick to make sure I have everything in order. And then that should ensure that it'll be a smooth animation between everything. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I'm pretty excited about how this is gonna look. So it'll go from here into here, which I think is like perfect. Because I could make it like roll out, but too much work. So let's just stay here. I mean like roll out like a scroll or something, but this is pretty good. I've had the idea of the crumpled paper in my head for like ever since I started working on the dialogue, so I've really wanted to see how this would look. I feel like it's gonna be cool. Let's see, and then for this part, it's kind of like multi-layered because there's the bottom zone and then there's like this top zone here. So I gotta figure out how to kind of incorporate that. And then there is this like crinkle zone right here, so I'm not totally sure how that's supposed to look, but we'll just kind of roll with this. And then I honestly might add a bit of like highlights for some of these like crevices and peaks inside of the crinkles here. Okay, and then we just add a little bit more here. Kind of thicken up this line down here. Get this filled in. Okay, and then the gem like shouldn't be altering too much because it's supposed to be like a rock, you know? So it's not like it's a piece of paper. I feel like that's pretty decent. So yeah, we'll roll with that for now. And then the reason I wanted to do that one first is because essentially in between this one and this paper, I kind of need to know where all of like these lines are gonna go on here, which is cool. Okay, so let's finish this one up. The big thing is I'm going to select everything out here and then delete it on here. And then we're gonna hop over to this one. Well, here, I could dither this as well. Quantize, and then we go. So we need just a few more colors, yeah, to properly get that one all finished. And then we're adding on this kind of intermediary layer with all of our shading. In fact, this should go above all of that, like this. Because all of these are technically like indents and all of that fun aesthetic. Kind of comes down here. Kind of should probably stay consistent with my shading there. Yeah, I definitely think if I lean into the artistic aspects of this game, it's gonna stand out. I think it's already like quite unique thematically, and there's just a lot of elements about the game that make it kind of stand out. But I think specifically artistically, if I focus on making it very like, I don't know, artistically bold, people will notice that. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so for this one, ooh, right, the other thing that we obviously have to work on here is there is, yeah, it's got to be markedly transparent. That's the word I'm looking for. Because in the end, this dialog box is black transparent. So when this opens up, this will have to be, and I should get rid of all of this black out here like this. Oh yes, and in fact, if I have a better idea, we'll do this, and then I have this cool little plugin that will fade out all of the black colors, which is cool. So, in fact, we could probably select like some of this stuff here. And that'll look pretty good. Okay, and then this just like selectively removes only the black like channel of the color, and so you actually get this like opacity effect, which is really cool. So it doesn't just outright like cut it off completely. Okay, so that's image number 1. Go to image 2. This is probably where we'll start seeing a bit of like somewhere in the middle where there is kind of a transparent color starting to emerge, like with this. And in fact, if we work backward, that probably will help the best, because to go from, for instance, get rid of that, here to here, we have pretty much everything in the center being transparent to a degree. And so I think kind of imitating that with this, and having this image be quite transparent while also being dark in color will probably give us quite similar to what we're shooting for. Yeah, so something like this. So I bet you that's pretty good, and then we go into that. So then that means that we can, so we definitely want this. This is like really important. And then inside we have all of our shading, and that is going to be, you know, as pronounced as we feel like, which is probably that much. And then we'll fill this in with black color here, which did not work. There we go. In fact, what would be better is to grab this, then go in here and fill that out, and then we can get rid of that layer. Okay. And we put that underneath and then fill it out a lot more. Okay, perfect. So we have Jim, we have kind of transparent background, and then we go into this. So I like that. I'm going to save this whole file just so that we have, you know, our file, and I don't delete it like I did last time. So this is good, and then we want to basically transition this back into this format right here. So I think from here, there's a couple things that we should take notice of. One is that the pages are kind of folding inward on itself. I would like to have those pages be like the back side, and have that be opaque. So it's only on the inside that it is that kind of weird transparent that weird transparent color like this. But then as it crumples up, the final like resulting crumpled piece of paper should be totally white, opaque. Okay, so to get that aesthetic, obviously all of this will need to be drawn in like white. And I'm gonna turn that back on. Okay. But more specifically, sections like this are going to be totally white. So we could do something like that and that to indicate that. Yeah, and then all of this out here also is going to be white in this area. Okay, cool. And then we'll fill this in as white. Yeah. Yeah, just like that. Okay, cool. So, yeah, this starts to kind of illuminate what will be the inside and outside, which we might have to go back through and kind of apply it to this, although, like, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. I just don't know. And then we got this one here, which 127. That's pretty good. Okay, so then we go fill in our shadows, which we want to do, honestly, underneath a lot of this white here, because we're going to be filling in like this stuff. Yeah, okay, that looks pretty good. And then did I quantize this one already? Did not. So let's do that. Just go to color, quantize, and then, yeah, basically we go up to the level that is gives as much detail as possible, and then we just go no higher than that. So that's really good. Okay, and then from here, I mean, basically we could leave that as bright as we want, and then we're just interested in kind of replicating this image on top of here. So some of this will be backward. So if I hop onto, well, let's do this guy. Let's just do this one. Maybe we'll do this one. Okay. So from here, we just kind of try and parse out, like, where is everything going to be. So for instance, this whole line will run on the bottom right here across everything. And then this gemstone will kind of be hanging out like in this area here. So we just start to draw that a little bit. Something like this. To which I might color this in black at some point. So and then we'll color over the top of that. Okay, nice. And then we'll go, oops, something like that, and then that. Yeah, cool. And then a lot of these edges should be fairly thick on the bottom here, just because they connect to this line. And then we'll add a secondary line that runs kind of through everything. Something kind of like that. Cool. So then, because most of this is hidden away, we don't have too much left to do. We just have things like, let's see, this guy comes down. He's actually higher up, I think. Yeah, starts like up here. Yeah, this is working out pretty good, honestly. I'm impressed. This guy technically will probably run into something like this. It'll be kind of hard to imagine what that looks like, but he is curling like underneath the paper, which is interesting. And then this guy's coming up here. And there are some lines running down through here. Okay. Cool. Then this will kind of come through this area here, which is good. There's not too much that goes on up at the top, just generally a thicker line. And then on this side as well, there's a little bit of some swirls, although they'll be hard to kind of observe. So I think if you just kind of add this, that will be enough to cue in the player as to what's going on. Honestly, and I think that's it. Like, that's pretty much the whole dialogue box. So that's kind of cool. And then we just have to come here and we're grabbing as much of this as we can, and then we're doing that color reaper. So I think we do this. Let me think about something real quick. Yeah, okay, that's what it'll look like, which is good. And then this will be its own little unique kind of image here. which I do actually want it to sit up on everything now. Okay, and then we're gonna merge all of this down like this. Okay, so that's that layer. This layer goes into this layer, which it's actually quite dark. I might go back and increase like the darkness of this particular layer here. Because I mean, in comparison, like, it's actually quite dark. Oh, I forgot. I did decrease the brightness on it a little bit. So I did that. So then when I reduced the opacity, it was more like this. Okay. So then if I reduce everything like this, I think that gives us the look that we're shooting for here. Okay, don't want that though. This should be as bright as possible. Okay, so we go from here to here to here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I think we got it. So we'll save that, and then what I can do is I can save this as a zip file, and then we hop over to here, and if we open that up, we can pull out all of these, and that gives us our animation. And then that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's see how this would play hypothetically. So this is the tricky part, and I've been trying to figure out how to do this. We have our dialog box in here. It has an animation that plays, and we want it to continually play when it shows the dialogue. We don't want that to play though yet until this animation is done. Okay, this is a great thing actually. So we're going to float first animation, float second animation. And what this will do is it will done equals false, current anim equals first animation. Oh, it has to be an integer, my bad. And then single equals true. And then basically, this should be an enumerator. We are going to yield return done equal yield return done. And we wait for this variable to be done, which only happens here at the end of the animation cycle. If it is, then we will go done equals false, current animation equals second animation, single equals fuss. Okay. This is my best attempt to do this, and I think it might just work. I think it might just work. So we're going to call the opening animation probably slot 2. So we have 0, 1, and then 2, and then the closing animation will be 3. So 2 and 3. Which will be in list sprites. Okay, so in here, display dialog, we're going to go animation controller dot play specific animation, which honestly, like, I mean, I might do this. I might go public void play specific animation, pass these guys, and then we go enumerator wait for animation queue. I don't know, this is getting ridiculous. Start coroutine, wait for animation queue, first animation, second animation. Okay. Stop all coroutines. Okay, cool. Also, stop all coroutines, although it like says all, it only stops the coroutines on this particular script, so it doesn't affect anything else. Which I was confused about when I first started programming, because I was like, well, it stops all of them, right? Thankfully, no. So we're going to play specific animation. We're ending with 0 on this one. This one we are ending at 1. And then for opening, that is slot number 2. After this, I haven't figured out the closing animation, so we're just gonna roll with this. Yeah, I'll do the other one later. Okay, so for now, let's do this. So what we have to do is create sprite 1, or sprite 2, and then sprite 3. These will have open. Well, you could just do that. And then for this one, it's going to start closing instead. And I'll figure out how to do that later. But for now, let's see if this works. Because I don't know if it's going to work. Hopefully it does, but not totally sure if it will. Okay, so not totally clear on that. Did I save it? I sure did. Yield return done. Oh, we probably have to go current frame equals 0. And then we go, well, it doesn't matter on the other one. Okay. Let's try this. Oh, and honestly, I should probably do it in not maximized, but because I gotta figure out what is going on here. So for some reason, it, however, is it's not queuing in this animation at all. Like, I mean, okay, so realistically, if I do this, it shouldn't change anything, right? And in fact, if I, you know, turn this sprite off, which I believe it should activate it, right? Does it activate it? animation controller. But it actually doesn't. Not that it's super important, but I mean, technically it should turn it off. So display dialogue. You know what? There is something that I am missing right now, which is this should technically happen up here, which run through dialogue. I'm not sure. I've removed my comments that I originally put here to tell me what to do. I believe, yeah, so, okay, show animation. So this should play this particular animation right here. And then I do think that this doesn't show up anywhere else. So it should do this. Let's give it a shot. So this should play that animation and then just go into a default neutral sprite. Okay, and it's not. And that is because box is inactive. Okay, which is good. So it's trying to do things. So we just run it here afterward. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it works. Okay. So there does seem to be some sort of issue here. So let's go print starting waiting done waiting unity yield return wait for variable. Yield return, yeah. Okay, gonna try this. Don't know if it'll work. And I might totally be using this whole function incorrectly, but you never know. Okay, so it seems like this function does not work. The other thing that I do want to try at least is let's just do this. Let's see, does it even play this animation or not? Is it skipping through the whole thing for some reason? Because that could be another issue that's happening. Is it's just skipping through all of this for some reason. Interesting. You know, there is an issue that I had with this, with single. Yeah, I added too much to the current frame there. Had an issue with that. So it seems like yield return does not work, but I might be able to do yield return. I just feel like that totally should do it. Like, done equals true. Like, that should yield return done. I feel like that should totally do it. Okay, this might work better. We do wait until. That apparently should work. In which case, I'm gonna get rid of all that code. The other big thing is I want to go, this sprite renderer should be, do I have that? Sprite renderer, dialog sprite, yeah. Okay. Dot sprite equals null. So just when it starts right off the bat, like, I don't want it to start with the other dialogue already in there, because that's not how that should work. Okay. Okay, so that's working. That's cool. And then for the single here, technically we're setting single to true. So if it's single and current frame is greater than or equal to sprite.length. And current frame is greater than or equal to sprites.length. It should set done to true. So let's do public right here. But real quick, I am just going to print current frame and then whatever the current length is. Yeah, because the current animation should be 2 for that matter, and then go from there. But it is waiting. Now it's waiting, so that's good. So we're making progress. Yeah, and then we just want to see what this does. Okay, so we are watching to see if done, which I don't think it will. And then right here we're looking at 0, 1, 0, 2 and all that stuff. Okay, so we click here. Length of 4. It only ever gets to 3. Um, so weirdly, how does this work? Because it has to make it to um, 3 without resetting. And so it's almost like we need to go here, and then we also do this. Whoops. We also increment the sprite based on this, but we capture it right at the end, increment it, set done to true, and then it just won't do anything after that. And then for here, since it's waiting, then we go through this process. Okay, let's see, because what always would happen, and it's strange, is it skips the last element in the array, which like isn't a huge deal because I can just add another one. But it is weird. Like, it's not what my code is supposed to do. Oh, and that does it. That did it. Holy crap. That's awesome. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. What? That's awesome. Okay, and then we just need one for disappearing. And then obviously the text needs to wait like a second. That's so cool. Okay, so then what we do here is it plays the animation, and then we actually make it wait for another like a good second before it plays. Yeah, that's pretty good. Because what, like it's 5 frames per second, there's like 4 frames in the animation. We can make it 0.8. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. That is so cool. Okay, so then we do the same thing again, all the way at the very, very end. So it has done dialogue count. So while dialogue count is greater than 0, we do this whole thing. And then at the very, very end, we show the animation again. And we make sure to wait until it's done. Then we set dialogue active to false. Oh, and we do have to play on the paper sound and stuff up here. And then we set it to false. And then we wait for half a second in between. Although we could totally reduce that because we're going to be waiting like 0.8 seconds in between everything. Okay, and then we're playing 3 instead. Now this is where it's going to be critical that it like cuts off right when it finishes the animation, because otherwise it's going to close and then go back out, and so hopefully it won't do that. Gosh, this might potentially just work right off the bat. I don't know if it will though. Wow, that actually just worked. Okay, so then if I click on multiple, it should just run through everything. Okay, it should close. Then another dialogue opens, closes, and then another one opens. Oh, dude, that's so cool. That's awesome. Okay, so then obviously the other thing that we need to do is just make it not display the dialogue until after everything. Which, how do I do that? Because didn't I get that correct? It waits and then it does it. So where do I go wrong on this? Because maybe the problem is that name tag.text. We just set all of this to 0, like right off the bat, just to make sure. And then type text, we do text dialog equals empty. And we just make sure to set that both times. Okay. Should work. Okay, and then we're gonna do this. So, play opening animation. Play closing animation. Display all dialogue. And then we just close everything. Okay. Should work. So we shouldn't have floating text randomly now, ideally. Oh, yo, that's so freaking cool. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Like, you gotta admit, that is pretty darn awesome. Let's go maximized. That's awesome. Here, I'm gonna do this real quick. Uh-oh. Cannot have copyrighted music on right now. Gotta go back to this stuff. Okay, cool. Alright, this is cool. I'm like so impressed with this. I need to zoom out more. Okay. And then it should close out. Just like that. Wow. I'm blown away. That's so cool. That's so cool. I can start adding like so much to this game now. This is so cool. And you know what I might do is, although the drawings and all of that are very important, and you know, having like all of the characters that you can interact with and all of those things, I think I want to start laying out the actual levels and adding things that you can interact with. Because, like, you know, with your whole like RPG maker type of games, I don't know if you played anything like that, like this one, RPG Maker, you know, all these types of games where, you know what, let's do like a story game. Okay, like these type of RPG Maker games where it was like all story based and stuff, and all that you did was interact with like random items and things, and you'd walk around and do stuff. Those types of games are definitely like a huge inspiration for this, and I want you to be able to walk around and like click on stuff and interact with it and have that like cool dialogue box that we just created show up, and that's gonna be awesome. So anyway, that was a lot of stuff that we worked on today. That was a lot of cool things. I am very happy with how things have been coming along so far. I feel like I'm a much better programmer and game designer than I used to be, and so things are moving faster in ways that I haven't been able to do before. And so now it's just going to be getting all of this fine-tuned to how I want, and then using all of this to actually make the game. So that is the plan. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Check out some of my other videos on my channel if you want. I got some cool stuff out there. And yeah, next time we'll take a look at that Trello board and start figuring out what to work on next. Anyway, so thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.